Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm here today to attempt to teach you guys how to do this pop-out card. Somebody had sent me the video on Reels from Shrusty Purdy, and it was so fast and in centimeters, and they asked if I could slow it down and put it in inches. I did it, but pop-ups are not my wheelhouse, and so it takes me a little while to understand how these things work. And yeah, it was a little complicated, so I'm gonna try my best. If it's confusing, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Okay, so for me it was easier to go ahead and cut all of my pieces first. So you need one piece that is 6 1/4 by 9 3/8. Where's my paper? And all I did was measure I cut everything in centimeters because my Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer has centimeters, and I measured it as close as it could be in inches. So it may not be exact, but it was close enough. It worked. Alright, so 6 1/4 by 9 3/8. Okay. And you're gonna fold that in half on the long side. The measurement is a little bit off, and so if you just kind of just fold it, then you can score your paper, and it's easier that way. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold that and varnish. Okay, that piece can go to the side. Now we're going to go ahead and cut two pieces that are 4 3/4 by 1 1/2. Use your scraps. Perfect. So 4 3/4 by, excuse me, 1 1/2. Okay, so you have those two pieces. And on those two pieces, we do need a score on the short side. We're just scoring it in half, so at 3/4 of an inch on the short side. And on the long side, we're just going to take a pencil and a ruler and mark it at 1 1/2 inches. On the top and the bottom. Okay, you just need a pencil mark. You're going to do that to both. You can do a pencil mark, or you can just do it on your paper trimmer, which was easier for me. Okay, see, I just did like little lines. It don't matter. Pencil or paper trimmer. Okay. All right, now you're going to line your top left corner with your bottom right tick mark. Okay, so just as you're doing the diagonal, you're making an X with your score blade. Okay, and then you're going to rotate it, and you're going to line up the bottom left corner with the top right tick mark. Okay, and you're going to do that to both pieces. Okay. All right, so those pieces are done. So let's, I'm trying to think what's going to be easier to teach you. Let's work on these pieces. I'll cut the rest in a minute. Okay. So for these two pieces here, we are going to cut out the little triangle and then one of the big triangles. Okay. So how I remembered that is I took my scissors, I started at the bottom tick mark, I cut up the diagonal to the score line, I rotated my paper and cut up the vertical. Okay, so again, it's these bottom left two triangles, the big one and the small one. So I start at my tick mark, I cut up the diagonal to the score line, I rotate and cut that off. Okay, so you have two pieces that kind of look like that. Okay, and then we are going to go ahead and varnish our lines, but one of them's going to get flipped backwards. But I still like to have a nice crisp crease lines. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to cut my pieces out first because I think that's just going to confuse you. It's hard to teach this. All right, if anything is overlapping, I'm just cutting off like this little tiny sliver. Okay. All right, so you have your two pieces like this. Okay. I'm going to go slow. We're going to bring back in our card base, which is this piece here. We're going to set one of these to the side, and you have one piece like this, okay? I need my cheater so I can remember how to teach you all this. Okay, so this piece, like this, you're going to take this bottom and you're going to flip it up, okay, and revarnish. Okay, so now it should look like this. Okay, this piece here on the left is going to be, well, you know what, let me just leave it like this for right now. Okay, I'm flipping up. I'm trying to really think how to teach you. Okay, take this piece and actually go ahead and flip that up like so, and varnish that. And then this next score line, fold it down. Okay. All right, so this was flipped down and this was flipped down and then this was folded up. Okay, now what we're going to do is fold this left hand flap in, and we're going to put glue on this side. You can decorate first. I think she decorated first, but I didn't get that far yet to decorate. Okay. Now, open your card base, and we're going to glue this fold down to this left hand side, okay? You want to meet this triangle point right here with your score line, okay? Making sure that you're not going over, but you want to get right up to that score line, okay? This fold, as you can see, is on top. This meets I'm just slightly under the score line because I'm afraid that it's not going to open and close properly. So just at that score line. It does not go all the way to the bottom. There's a good 1/2 inch gap, almost 3/4 of an inch. It's 5/8 of an inch gap, so that's what it's supposed to do. Okay, so now it should look like this. This left piece is glued down. Nothing over here is glued down. Okay? So now what you need to do, fold this shut. Okay, so now the whole thing is folded over to the left. On this top small triangle, we're going to glue and tuck it in like that. Okay? So glue on just the small triangle. Tuck it in. And it should line up with the top on the side. Okay? Now you need to make sure that before this glue dries, you need to make sure you can close your part. Come on. Let it dry all the way. Okay, so it's going to open and look weird like this. On the white one, it might be a little bit easier to see. Okay, so here's the left-hand piece that was closed. These are my decorative pieces. This little baby triangle is the one I glued, stuck it, and folded it back. Okay. So it should look like this. Now mine's not completely right, so I just undid it. Each should go flat. I may not have gone all the way up, but just kind of force that paper. I needed to go up just a little bit more, but that's okay. You just need this thing to fold. I don't know why my glue's not drying. It's freezing in here, so that's probably why my glue is just not drying. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone for a second. Our other piece is gonna be the exact same thing, just the opposite direction. So the open end to the right. My fold, it has to be re-varnished because it's just not, I didn't line it up properly. So that's fine. As long as you can open it all the way and close it all the way, you may have to play with the mechanism. Man, my glue is just not drying. All right, let me pause this and let it dry. Okay, it finally dried. All right, so you have your piece again like this. So now your piece that has the two triangles is on the left, and the piece that doesn't have any triangles is on the right. We're going to fold that up, glue that. I didn't look to see if Rosa Kelly had a pop-up like this because her pop-ups, she explains it so easy, and it's not fast at all. Like, she does such a great job, but I didn't think until just now to look at that. All right, and again, we're lining it up with the score line, gluing that piece down. So there's only glue on this little flap down here. Okay. And then we're going to put glue on, we're closing it. We're going to put glue on our small triangle and tip that small triangle underneath. Okay. So glue on the small triangle, lift it up, fold it in, squeeze it down. Let it set for a second. and then make sure you can open and close this, which I can. Open and close. Okay, I'm gonna have to let that dry. Okay, mine is dry, so we can put this whole thing over to the side. Okay, so these next cuts are going to be the little pop out arms right here. These pieces right here. So it's the smaller piece is just reinforcing this larger piece. So you may have to cut it down, but we'll see in a second. So you need 2 pieces that are 4 3/4 by 3/4 of an inch. 1 and 2. And then you're going to score them at 3/4 of an inch on both sides, on the long side. We may have to trim these down. Each time I did this card, sometimes it came out perfect, sometimes I had to trim things down, but we made it work. Alright, so you have those 2 pieces. Okay, put those over here. Cut your next 2 pieces, which are going to be little slightly less than 3 1/4, because it needs to go in the middle of your 2 score lines on this piece. By 3/4 of an inch. So if you cut yours per the cutting guide, just take a little sliver off. Alright, 3/4 by 3 1/4, just a little bit less. And you're going to put it directly in the middle of your 2 score lines of the first 2 pieces that we cut. Put it on the inside. So take your longer 2 pieces and we're going to fold and burnish the score lines like so. And this one. And this one. And we're going to glue these pieces right in the middle. This just reinforces the pop-up. It gives it a little bit more stability. Okay. So glue that in the middle. I don't think it matters on which side. And the next one. You want to make sure that it's not touching the score lines. That's why we took off just a little sliver. You could even do it 3 1/8 if you want, just to guarantee you're not going to touch your score lines, but it's up to you. Okay. Alright, so we're going to set those pieces aside. And we're going to cut 2 pieces that are 7 by, well, 3 1/8 by 7. Okay, and that's going to get scored at 3 7/8 on the long side. Okay, so you need 2 pieces. Let's see. Oh, good. I'm trying to use my scraps here. So 3 1/8 by 7. Scored at the long side of 3 7/8. This measurement, you're probably going to have to cut something down or readjust, but it's fine for right now. Okay. I got stressed, so I had to call in reinforcements. All right, so these ones we're just gonna go ahead and fold on the score line. So you should have a short section and a long section. Okay. We're gonna move everything over. Let me move stuff out of my way. And we're gonna bring in our card base, okay? So, how do I wanna teach you this? We're gonna take our paper, we're gonna put, see how it's mountain folded? We're gonna flip it so that way the long side is on top of our mountain fold, and you're gonna rotate it this way, okay? So this is how it looks. Short side to the left, long side to the right, mountain fold, okay? Ouch. All right, now on this left-hand side, we're gonna fold our mechanism, and I'm just gonna take my paper right here and mark where I need to put my glue. I lined it up with the bottom, and I'm just marking where the glue needs to go. Okay, so glue from where you just made your mark all the way to the bottom. Okay, bring your piece back in. Now it needs to go on, hold on, because this is the part I always mess up on. Yeah, it needs to go this way. I don't know the easiest way. Fold this down, take the inside of your mountain fold on the short side and glue this down. So now your long piece is out, not touching anything, and your short piece is glued to your mechanism. I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah. Yeah, if you don't glue it on the inside of your mountain fold, it's a problem. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Okay, so now it should do like this. Okay. Now we're going to take our other piece, okay, and here's mine. I'm going to flip it so that way the short side is going to be glued to this piece here. I'm going to make my glue mark, put my glue on. I know I did a lot of flipping and turning, but that's just what I needed to get it straight in my brain, so sorry. Okay, so short side to the left, long side to the right, mountain fold in the middle, fold this down. See, the open is still completely open, not glued, and glue it here. Meet it with the bottom of the mechanism, not the bottom of the card. Okay, let that glue it here. While that glue is drying, on the other ones, I glued it to the inside and then you can't open it. So yeah. All right, now's the time you want to make sure they're not going to be like perfectly even, which I think is fine. I probably should have told you to make them even, but I didn't realize it because before I did this step first, and this time I did this step first. So it's a little crooked, but I don't think it's going to matter. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and open this one all the way out. Bring this one in because I need to glue these pieces that I completely forgot about in here. Okay, so with this piece closed, we're going to put glue here on this flap. Okay, so see it's on the back. And we're going to put it in the middle. Open up your mechanism and put it in the middle. Okay, it should line up. Let that dry. Okay, this is where you may have to do some cutting, like I was saying, because I try to convert it from inches, from centimeters to inches, it's off. Okay, so I need to cut it down a little bit, which I just took my scissors and cut it. Let me show you what I did. I laid it down completely open, and I'm just going to cut off that bit that's over the score line. Okay, so this tab is open. I laid it down and I cut it to where it's flush with the score line. I'm going to take glue the little tab. Again, it's open, you see. This is open. And now I want to close it on top of that glue piece. Let it dry. Yep. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Take your strip here, fold it, glue, put it in the center-ish. Okay. These pieces are easier to do before you put the bigger pieces on, but I forgot about it, so I gotta do what I gotta do. Lay this flat. And again, trim it down. That was just my easiest way to teach that part, because I tried this tutorial twice and there's certain things that were just hard to explain, and I wasn't going to sit there and convert the math and try all this. I just did it the closest I could do with the measurements, so that's why this is a thing. I just cut it and that's the easiest thing. So remember, this piece was all the way open. We're going to fold it back on itself. Let that dry. We put that glue on the piece that was all the way open that we just cut. So see, it was all the way open. I put the glue. I folded it on itself. I gotta let it dry. And it will pop up in just a second. I'm gonna let that glue dry. So they both should look like this. Now, if your paper is going over the sides, just trim it. Maybe flip it over and something's on the side, trim it. But there you have it. A fun little pop-up. And then you can decorate as you see fit. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.